No. 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 I can't be the only one who thinks Games Workshop have an 80s metal band name generator hidden away somewhere in Nottingham HQ, because their names are just pure 80s metal gold. Piety and Pain, Zealous Bloodshed in the 41st Millennium. This is obviously the new box that was released on Saturday there. We've got Sisters of Battle against the Drukhari. Now, I personally don't have any Drukhari models so far. This is my first foray into the world of Drukhari, so this is exciting for me. I do have my small sisters force, completely unpainted of course. Well, it's primed, you know, I mean I did get that far. My plan, my new plan, my crazy plan, is I want 2,000 points of every army in the game. So I'm going to need to actually plan that out, otherwise I'll never achieve it. But that's my goal, 2,000 points of every army in the game. So box sets are a good way to add to that, because I think I've seen breakdowns of this that said you're basically saving half price. So as you can see, it is cellophaned up, so so always put your knife somewhere safe. Right, we'll get this off without destroying it. Ooh, lots of plastic. Now I have none of these models anywhere in my model collection, so I'm going to assume that's for the immolator. So there's an awful lot of plastic here. Oops. That looks like the canopy for the Venom. Actually, I'm just gonna, I'll do this a much more simple way. So there is our Lelith Hex Barracks. Lots of hair, very pointy. Doesn't seem like there's a lot to her at all. But anyway, it's a nice sprue. I'll build that up tomorrow. I'm going to include footage of a couple of them built up, probably the Palatine and Lelith. Speaking of the Palatine, that's looking very Palatine-y there. So, as you can see, hopefully there's legs. Yeah, everything in there to build a Palatine. Very nice. I'll show that one built up as well. So this is our Adeptus Sororitas Immolator, which is clearly the Rhino chassis, the updated one for the sisters, which is very, very nice. And it kind of makes you feel that they should really update the main Rhino chassis, but I don't think they ever will, just because I don't think Mini Marines are getting an update now. They could allow Primaris into it, which they really should, and then do an update based off this model, because obviously they've got all the CAD files for it. They don't need to go quite over the top with the cathedral style decorations or the stained glass, which I'm going to have fun painting that. I think contrast paints will work very well for that, but we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. So there is your Immolator. Next up, we've got the Retributors. So, and the Cherubs are on this sprue as well. You can see their little stupid wings. They're a crazy little model. And you get an awful lot of heads with this too, so you can build them. Well, let's look at the Venom. Now, this is obviously an older sprue. You can always tell the gaps. Is there a date on it? 2010. That's not too old as things go. We obviously get our clear canopies, and I do like the similarities to the Eldar jet bikes with this and the Viper. So that's very nice too. Again, looking forward to building that one. I like flyers. I like things that fly. I don't know why, but I do. Next up, the Scourges with 3 sets of feathered wings and 2 sets of bat-like wings. What's the date on this one? 2011. So obviously Drukhari got a bit of a release around the 2010 mark. And these are the Witches with a nice big net. Again, relatively nice sprue, but basic. We also get our poster. I'm going to start framing these posters. I do like them. We get our bases. which for some reason are slot bases for some of them. Who's on slots? And a flying stand, the little ball flying stands. These are so much better than the ones with the little spike that always bloody breaks off. I think I've got about 5 of those that broke off inside one bloody devilfish. Anyway, and more Adeptus Sororitas transfers, extra shiny for shininess. We also get our Piety and Pain booklet, which has our build instructions tucked away inside the packet. So, and put the knife somewhere safe so that we don't lose a finger. I don't like the plastic wrapping. I know why they do it, but in the modern day and age, it just doesn't seem very PC. Anyway, so there's the booklet. And we'll flip through that in a minute. Let's just see what... they produced an actual... This is the advantage of all the CAD stuff. They can reprint all these booklets without any problems at all. Instead of having to photocopy it like some of the bloody Forge World instructions. So that's cool. I'm going to try to build these up tomorrow. I don't think there's any magnetizing to be done, but there might be. Oh, no, I'm going to magnetize, yay. Yeah, I'm going to build all these up tomorrow and then we'll have a look at these in the flesh, as it were. So those are the build instructions. That's lovely. Let's pop that back in its box. Ooh. So obviously lots of nice stories and lore. And pictures. I don't know what colour scheme I'm going to go for my Drukhari. But obviously something. My sisters are white. A nice bright white. They are the Order of St. Bridget. My own order that I made up myself because I love that about Warhammer. Got some missions. That's what I wanted to see. It does have the full data sheets for everything. First on the scene, we have Lelith Hesperax. So she is obviously the new Drukhari. Our new model, sorry. Very nice, but hopefully you can see there at her toe, you can see the white band across her toes. If I position this just right, you can see just how thin. It's like, no. It's just too thin. I mean, if you're anyway cack-handed at all, that's going to get bust. But other than that, it is a really nice model. But it is ridiculously thin. But still, I mean, the hair is amazing. But the leaping from the rock thing, I think has been done. I think it's been done. Do we really need more of it? I mean, but like, you compare how much of Ragnar's foot, you know, compare that to that. That's just too thin. Let's have a look at Commander Shadowsun. Alright, she's got a full hoof on it. So, that to me is just too fragile. Really is just too fragile. Good model, but just too fragile. But next up, we'll look at the other HQ choice. Go away, Ragnar, before you fall over. We've got our Palatine. So this is the equivalent of a lieutenant for the sisters, as far as I can see. Very nice model. Now, you do get a couple of options with her. If I grab her sprue, you can see you get either a bolt pistol or a different head. That's it. So she's not exactly laden with choices, but still, better than none. Still a bit of cleanup to do there. You can see on her thigh there on the inside. So yes, I am going to mount her on something to make painting easier. Next up, another Drukhari unit. Let's do the Venom. So, this is a fun one to build. A little bit tricky to get some of the the panels to line up. Those ones underneath took a while, and I didn't glue any of these guys and gals on just because, but they do sit on quite nicely. Now obviously you couldn't sit them on as a gaming piece. They will need to be glued on, but that shouldn't be too big a deal. And then I've also got, if I can get it without knocking anybody off, the two guns for underneath that I'm going to magnetize. So they shouldn't be too hard to do. I mean, they've got nice little stubs, so I might just cut that off, glue a magnet into the base, glue a magnet into that, and done. So that should be easy enough. Next up, let's go to the sister's vehicle with a couple of bits missing. Where are the... So you can see I haven't glued the main feature of this tank, the stained glass window, which is just incredibly 40k. I mean, if somebody else said we're going to have a tank with stained glass and it wasn't 40k, you'd be laughing at them. But in 40k, it's just like, yeah, laughing with you, not at you. So I've also not glued the weapon sponsons on yet. Just want to make it easier to get everything on when it's done. And I haven't magnetized these because they don't really need it. And those are press fit like you wouldn't believe. So they're all pretty much like that. So you do not need magnetization for those. You could if you wanted to, like, but they need a fair bit of tugging to get them out. And I haven't glued the missile pod on. The only kind of annoying thing about that is that there's not really any spares that come with the kit. And I have to say, the fit of this kit, putting it together, was a joy. You know, I like lots of the kits, like if you're building a vehicle, you put the front plate on, and it just doesn't line up. You get gaps. This one, I mean, you can see the gaps there, but a little bit of filing will take those right off. Just needs a little bit more cleaning. And the top, there was virtually no gaps at all. So this was a really nice tank to build. Really, really good. I did like building it. Anyway, on with the review. What's next? Scourges. Scourges? I don't know. So the main disappointment with the... Hang on, let me get them all in here. So the main thing I would say with this kit that's wrong is you really only get like one of each heavy weapon. If I dig out the sprue for it, which I do have... I've got all the sprues piled down here. So, nope. And of course it's the one at the bottom. Literally the one at the bottom. So, you can see with this kit. Now, the rules of this kit are the rules of this unit. Up to 4 of them So, up to 4 Scourges can have their Shard Carbine replaced with one of the following. 1 Blaster, 1 Dark Lance, 1 Haywire Blaster, 1 Heat Lance, 1 Shredder, 1 Splinter Cannon. Now, to me, that reads you could equip the whole unit with a Heat Lance or a Haywire Blaster. But I'm not 100% sure. I may have misread it. Maybe you can only have one of each heavy weapon type, but that just seems stupid. But you can see... Oh, hang on. See these guys and gals out of the way. You can see hopefully in the sprue you really only get one of each. The only one I put on was the Shredder Cannon because it looked very useful for these guys, but anyway, they were fun enough to build. A little bit crazy, but fun. So next up we've got our Retributor Squad. Now I've gone for 2 multi-meltas and 2 heavy bolters. I really wanted 4 heavy bolters, but the kit doesn't come with that. So now, to be fair, if you bought another kit, which I might end up doing, you could build 4 heavy bolters, 4 multi-meltas, and then it has spares. I'm going to dig out their sprue. You can see we've got a heavy flamer and lots of heads, lots and lots of heads, which is a nice touch. So I might be building this up as the heavy flamer if I can grab some other sisters' bodies from somewhere. Should easily be able to make it fit. That's a task for tomorrow. But if you want sisters' heads, this is a good sprue to get. You might be able to pick some off eBay for spares. So there's the witches. They're not bad. Bit pokey. I think I actually did cut myself, or at least pierced my skin with her. If you see that little sharp bit there, I was squeezing something and it is actually quite sharp, but still. So that's everything you get in the box. So let's zoom out and have a look at everything. This is everything you get in the box. Now this box was still available on GW's website this afternoon when I checked, so whether or not you want to get it, I don't know. Just be careful of Lelith's foot. It's ridiculously fragile. It's also made me look very carefully at the Drakari Combat Patrol box, because there's no overlap with this. It's a really, really good complement. You literally get completely different units, so that's a win. There is no Sisters Combat Patrol yet, at least not that I've seen. I don't even think there's a start collecting. And I do want to get some more Sister stuff. I will be getting the new Sisters tank when it comes out. But all in all, there was no bad models to build in this kit, which is nice. You know, there are some models you just hate putting together. Now, Lelith was tricky to put together. Not that hard, but just one of those things where you couldn't work out what was what. But that foot is just ridiculously thin. It's just too thin. That's just me, though. I don't know. What do you guys think? If you've made it this far, thanks very much for watching. There's another couple of videos there you can click on. You can click on the subscribe button if you want to. Like the video if you want to. Stick a comment down if you've anything to say. And in the meantime, happy wargaming. And I'll see you next time.